County. JOCO Community Radio. Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
You're listening to JOCO Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. Welcome back after the holiday season. We are excited to be back with NTX Radio, a radio and podcast collective proudly serving all of North Texas and can be heard all over the world on TuneIn and on the NTX Radio app. Now, this can be found on Android, Apple, and Apple CarPlay. Just ask Alexa to play NTX Radio. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. Jobseeker.com. Well, we are excited to be back.
Yep.
For a new year, and we are leveling up, excited to bring on guests, discuss current market trends, and different topics that can help break through barriers of understanding and clarity from the hiring people side of the table to benefit our job seekers throughout the year. Now, before we get into our first guest introduction, let's bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Then we can do a dad joke and just a few housekeeping items. Father God, thank you so much for this new year. What a wonderful 2024. So much that we have to learn and grow from the last couple of years. We thank you, Lord, that you're on the throne, you're in control, and we just pray that you would open doors of opportunity for all your children in this new year, all job seekers and job transitioners in this new year. And we just pray for your favor over our economy and our market, and that you would be first in our nation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, Foster, I'm so excited to be back. And look at I'm wearing my Texas shirt. Let's go Horns. They play tonight.
Hey, I'm checking you. Hey, I'm checking you out.
Yeah. And you know what? We hopefully can beat, as the kids would say, Ohio skibbity riz. So I don't know. It's new on the street terminology. Skibbity riz is supposed to be something, and they throw Ohio in there. So anyway.
Yeah, we got to keep up with the kids.
I mean, street talk or urban dictionary talk. That's the word I was looking for. But anyway, do you have a dad joke before we get into a few housekeeping items?
Well, of course I do. And I'm looking at some people that are with us. Gerard Robel out in Florida. You guys, Gerard is like one of the easiest, the best, top-notch networkers across the country. I meet a lot of people because Gerard,
awesome.
He introduces me to people. Oh, he's awesome. And Dion Lawrence is with us. Hey, Dee's been on the show before. Sharon Adams of Thomas Edwards Group. Absolutely. You guys go check out thomasedwards.com.
Wow.
So we're doing good. And Jim Williams, I like your last name, man. I just want to throw that out.
And then we have our wonderful Mez that holds us together in the background.
Yeah,
we love Mez.
Flavor Flav. That's right.
Flavor Flav.
We love it. So real quick, because I got to get to Rusty, guys. So I went to the record store and bought a vinyl. You guys remember if you don't remember the vinyl, don't worry. Remember those vinyl? So I got it home and I played it. It didn't sound anything. Man, it didn't sound anything like it was the title of the record was the sounds that wasps make. Wasps, guys. I got it home. It didn't sound anything like no wasps. This doesn't sound anything like wasps. Then I realized that I was playing the B side.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Everybody doesn't remember vinyl, so they won't get that joke.
That is funny, though.
Jim McConnell, good morning, Jim. Jim is our security guy. He'll be back on the show this year as well. Okay. Let me, guys, go and Dana, tell us about that hot job that you and I were talking about.
Absolutely.
That you're looking for at your company.
Yeah, thank you, Foster. So Beacon Oral Specialists, I'm honored to be a part of the organization. We acquire oral surgery practices and help run oral surgery practices nationwide. As our director of talent acquisition, I've been blessed to be a big part of these operations on the talent acquisition and onboarding side. And we have an exciting opportunity here in Dallas for a senior IT support analyst, a mix of integrations with other practices in terms of IT software, help desk, support analyst, a lot of it's a fast-paced, exciting job. It won't get boring. Monday through Friday in the Dallas office. We're right at the corner of 635 and 75. So if you are interested, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Mez is wonderful. I'll put my work email address in our little chat, and hopefully we can get that posted. Again, thank you, Mez. We couldn't do life without you. And we also have opportunities at our practices nationwide. And some of them, if you're looking for a new career opportunity, they're willing to train if you're interested in surgical assisting. So take a look at beaconoralspecialists.com. That's B as in boy, Beacon Oral Specialists with an S at the end, plural.com. We are very excited.
Good, good.
That is what I got for that. But do you have any jobs, Foster?
I want we've got some executive admins that are in the network. We've had a number of them that have popped up lately, and there's a couple of opportunities on Search for You guys. If you would put the Search for You link into the chat, people can go, and you guys on Search for You guys, you will find what we like to call networked opportunities. That means somebody knows the people that are looking to hire the position. So at Search for You, you're not going to see as many positions as you see on ZipRecruiter and all that kind of stuff, because we like to focus on our own things. We like to connect.
Yes.
That's one of my number one words. Relationships, I think, is my number
Big
one
time.
word. And we build relationships, and people share with us what they're looking for, and we put it on Search for You. So that's what's there. If you have any questions, contact me, Foster Williams. Connect with me on LinkedIn. There's a number of people that are listening all over the world.
Honestly, yes. It's so exciting.
We are streaming radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, guys, Rusty Wright. Let's talk about Rusty Wright. Rusty, guys. Rusty's a global VP of marketing. Now, and brand development, I got excited about having Rusty and Carrie on the same show because they're both brand development.
Awesome.
And you know what? Rusty, over the last 2-3 years, has delved into AI, and he's become quite the AI strategist. So, Rusty, I'm introducing you, and take it from there. Y'all remember, everything you hear Rusty talk about, you companies can contract or hire Rusty. He's in Jobsearch.
Yep. Rusty.
Okay, go, Rusty.
And Rusty, I know you're going to introduce yourself. We're really excited about that. But I'd also be very interested to find out how job seekers can use AI to support their job search. Anyway, take it from here, Rusty.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been very blessed to have been able to speak to thousands of job seekers over the last couple of years.
So cool.
All of this happened a little bit by accident. So Foster mentioned that I am a global marketing guy. And as a global marketer, one of my jobs has always been to look into my crystal ball and to help the companies that I've worked for, whether that's Unilever or Avon or Mary Kay here in Dallas, and try and understand what were the technologies and the trends that were going to be shaping the way that consumers were interacting with the company, with the brand and the product. And so AI was one of those trends that I could see coming down the track a long time ago. I couldn't actually see the train. I could kind of see the smoke and I could hear the whistle. I knew it was going to be in the station. And I knew as a marketer that I needed to learn as much about it as I could, because I knew it was going to change my world, my company's world. And as a person who manages a lot of young teams, I knew it was going to be changing the way that a lot of young workers were utilizing tools. And so I dove in and started learning a lot of the tools that were out at the time. Fast forward to November of 2022, and this little tool called ChatGPT came out onto the market.
Yep, I didn't even learn about it until in 2023.
Well, you're not alone. So I was an early adopter, right? And immediately I started to sort of figure out, how can I use this in job search, but also kind of more broadly, how am I going to use this in my next job that I go into? And along the way, I started to look for resources. And one of the places I started to look was a group called Accomplished Executives that are here in the DFW area. And I went to the organizer and I said, hey, Brian Steidiger, do you know anyone who is teaching and preaching the gospel of AI that can help me learn and understand more? And Brian's answer was, no, but tell me what you're doing. And so I began to share with him all of the different sort of tips and tricks and ways that I was finding to get some productivity gains. And Brian said, you need to come and speak to our group next week about this. And so that was stage one. It was February of 2023 that I did my very first presentation. And since then, it's kind of just spread not only across DFW, but I did two groups in the New York and New England area, Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta. So it's been a great blessing because it's really brought me in contact with a lot of different people.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Rusty's been with us for a while now, telling us it started with ChatGPT. We got other things. We got this. I want to hear more about this generative AI and what's all about, Rusty.
So, one of the big challenges is when people say AI these days, they use it very broadly, and AI's been around since the mid 1950s. Actually, there have been chatbots that are older than I am. But what is really new is this trend of generative AI, which started around 2014 and really burst onto the scene back in 23 or 22 with ChatGPT. And what makes it different is the old systems were very rules-based, right? If you do this, then you get that. Whereas generative, the key word here is generative. It is able to generate or create something completely new that did not exist before. So it can look at 5,000 pictures of a cat and then create a new picture of a cat that has never existed before. So it is a very new way of interacting with AI.
Wow.
And it's changed a lot in the 2 years that I've been teaching it.
Wow.
Rusty, what are some of the things that you see job seekers able to do to strengthen their search, their strategies in finding a job and communicating what their skills are?
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that you can apply these tools. And during my workshops that I do, I kind of focus on a couple of areas. First of all of us, no matter what stage we are in a job search, are doing a lot of research. That could be researching a new industry. It could be researching trends that we need to be up to date on. It could be researching a specific company that we're getting ready to interview with. And generative AI tools do a great job, especially nowadays, because they not only have their foundational training, but many of them, including ChatGPT, have web search that is now built in. And so they're now able to go out and search the internet and bring that information into the analysis, including up-to-date facts. In the early days, it was a challenge because the models were trained and there was a cutoff date. So for instance, the cutoff date might have been September of 2022. And so if you were looking for stuff that happened last week, you were getting a lot of bad answers. But now the models have evolved and have built-in search. So a fantastic tool for research. A couple of other areas that I know and I've gotten feedback in my surveys on that folks love is their ability to optimize a resume. The tools are really great for you to be able to give them document A and document B, which could be a job description and your resume, and get it to compare and contrast both where there are synergies and where there are gaps. And what I teach folks then to do is then be able to go through step by step and to be able to optimize their resume towards that job description in a very sort of methodic way.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Rusty, you know what? How do we get in contact with you? Because we got a number of companies that are listening, and you go into, now cut me off if I'm wrong, but you will go into a company and show them how to use AI in different applications that they're trying to do inside of their groups, right?
Yeah, I will. I will do that. I do a lot of training for very specific areas. So, for instance, I've done some training with Financial Executives International, the Institute of Internal Auditors, the Public
Uh-huh.
Relations Society of America. So, looking at some specific functional areas and say, here is the base model, and here's how to start to change your thinking. Here's how to craft better prompts so that you can get better outcomes based on what your business needs are. So to go back to your question,
Yeah.
please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I think Mez or someone from the team has already put that in the chat bar already. I would ask that you please mention where you saw me, because I am getting a lot of
Yes.
salespeople these days trying to sell me stuff. But if you mention that you saw me here on the Jobfather show, I will absolutely
Yeah.
connect with you there. Yeah, and of course,
And I
yes.
Oh, I was gonna
Go,
say,
Dana.
and no problem. Uh, for our listeners that aren't as familiar with AI, it's used in so many different capacities and so many different roles. Everything from just everyday use for people to do things they need to do, like, you know what, there's like 5 different routes I could take, but I need to know which one is the least blah blah blah. So I'm going to go into Chat GPT. It's free, and I'm going to just put in a really thorough question, and you can just pull some basic stuff up, all the way to people that are using it professionally, like we just discussed. For job seekers, I can say that I was working on a resume for a girl that used to be coached by my ex-boyfriend in beach volleyball, and she's the one in about June of 20, maybe May, June of 2023, that taught me about Chat
Mhm.
GPT. Since then, what I'll do is when I write resumes, when I or need a cover letter, you can literally go into Chat GPT and say, make a cover letter using this resume, and then you copy and paste the resume in there, and then it will automatically generate a foundation for you to look at and edit as needed. There's so many things you can do as far as research. Now, again, there's a span of it,
Mhm.
right? So just like we discussed earlier, there's professional prompts, and there's different things that you can do to learn more if you want to use it to a deeper capacity. But there's so much you can do to use it as just an everyday user. It's if people could think of it almost like a super duper advanced Google function, right? There's just so much you can do because it gathers information from all over the internet and puts together solutions, or different things for you to evaluate. I have started using it quite a bit, even in my job. Like, for example, I had to
Yeah.
determine what a certain law was in Maryland, and there was a lot of articles, and it was a lot of work to go through and research all of it. So I went to Chat GPT and I typed in, hey, what are the pay transparency laws in the state of Maryland, and what am I required to post on job descriptions? And I mean, it pulled from all these government websites, and it gave me this big old list.
Mhm.
And then I had a front office person, a hiring leader. She's the director for one of our group of practices in another state, and she wanted to train all the front office people in the same way for every single practice, because right now each practice does things a little differently. So I went to Chat GPT and I typed in, please create a gap
Mhm.
analysis for um, front office in a oral surgery practice. And
Mhm.
it put together a very specific gap analysis that she could go in and use to determine where the kinks are, so that she could actually align the training. She could have even taken it one step further and say, okay, here are the gaps. Write a standard operating procedure, and then you can take it, and it doesn't mean you use it word for word, but it puts all this information together for you, saves you time, and then you can edit it to fit your situation. So please know this is a powerful tool that can help in a lot of ways. For example, if you're looking to work in a certain industry, how many companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area are in pharmaceuticals locally? And it will list everything out for you, and then you'll know which companies to target. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. Dana, one thing that I loved that you said was it's really good at creating a draft document that you can then go in and
And edit,
fine
yeah.
tune. And that is still something that I encourage folks to do, is to change their mindset from being the copywriter, which is where we were in our old world, to being an editor, which is where we are in the new world. It is going to go out and it is going to aggregate and pull all this wonderful information in for us. But it is still our responsibility to do the double checking, do the editing. And, one
Do the
example that
diligence, yeah.
I show in my presentation is when I've given it the job description and my resume, and I have it write a cover letter. Sometimes it will do things like default to one document. So if the job description said it needed 10 years, but I actually had 20 years of experience, it might put in the cover letter the safe number. It might say Rusty has 10 years of experience. So that's where you as the editor need to go in and kind of double check and make sure that it is properly representing you.
Yes,
that's it.
Making things up, because it will still sort of
it takes some liberties.
Yes, yeah, it does take some liberties, and so that's why it's really good for you to get your editing skills up and trust but verify at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it really saves hours of trying to figure things out. It gives you a foundation, and it is something to wrap your mind around, because I think, gosh, am I going to lose certain skills by relying on this? But the market's changing. We have to do a lot more with a lot less time. So knowing how to work smarter, not harder, and how to search for jobs and be impactful, it's all about that 80-20 rule, right?
Yeah, and
if
we've
you
got to
can
remember.
use- Yeah.
Go ahead, Dana.
Well, I was going to say, so if you can use your tools, AI being one of many, to help you work smarter, not harder, and maximize that 80-20 rule, you're going to get a lot more done, and you're going to feel good about the productivity. Productivity usually equals, the higher your productivity usually equals the higher your results. So think of it that way.
Yeah, the other
you and Rusty said something very, very key, and that is edit. Guys, we are responsible for editing the information that the tool is helping us with. There's a certain thing that we want to let people know. We're trying to communicate a certain thing. Now, ChatGPT makes it sound, and there's other AI platforms that will help us spell out what it is that we're trying to say. But we need to spell that thing out in the way that we are comfortable with it being put out there.
And you know what I might mention, Foster? I love that you said that. And for people that, again, go back and look at what it creates. I usually do. I used it to create a cover letter for myself. I looked at what it created, and then I went back and I made edits to make it from me, but it did a really good job. I mean, the liberties it takes was minimal. But just so everybody knows, there are lots of AI courses. So if you are in between jobs, the county whatever county you live in will typically, and even sometimes the state of Texas, will offer many programs for free. I know people that have gotten their PMP for free because they were in between jobs. The county offered it. I think they lived in Tarrant County, and they got their PMP paid for. They got their Six Sigma, one of the belts, paid for. There's all these courses you can take for free. But regardless, LinkedIn offers very affordable AI courses. Coursera offers very affordable AI courses. What I like about them is you can pay $30 a month and take as many courses as you want, and they come from a lot of the top universities nationwide. So when I was in between jobs, I got an analytics certification from UC Irvine, and I started, and I'm almost done with the first module from Duke University on business analytics. So it's great. I mean, you can go in there. They have so many AI courses. So depending on your scope of business, I would say if there is AI being used in your line of work, in your wheelhouse, your expertise, the longer you put it off, that's not advantageous for you.
Yeah, it's not
It
advantageous.
is what it is. You got to get
Mayor's put in the chat, guys, some information that'll be good places where you got to find guys to find different applications for these AI.
Thank
Rusty,
you,
I
Mez.
know I'd love to have you back. I want to have a whole
Yeah.
show with you, Rusty, so we can dig in a little bit
And
deeper.
do the presentation, maybe, Foster. Yeah, we could put that up on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'll be inviting you to do that pretty soon, Rusty, because this show's going real good, and I'm seeing that we've got numbers of people that are watching us. I knew it would be that way because of this topic, and you are the best that we know. So, Rusty, in closing, what?
Foster, are you
we
there?
Lost you.
Oh, it's okay. Rusty, in closing, is there anything else that you might... Oh, we have the radio team. We'll be back for the second half of the show. Rusty, thank you. You're awesome.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Welcome back, Jobfather Nation. We're proud to be part of NTX Radio, formerly Joco Community Radio. You can listen to NTX Radio multiple ways. You can download the app. You can listen online, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you can ask your trusty device. I'm not going to say the name because it will start talking to me in the middle of the show. But you can listen to this podcast and many, many more exciting podcasts through ntxradio.com or any of your apps, whether you have an Apple or an Android. With that being said, we're excited to be on the second half of the show. Foster, how are you doing? Are you back? All right. I just wanted to check to see where we're at. Well, we have got a wonderful second half of the show. I do want to say for the first half, Rusty, before we hop into the second, how wonderful it has been to talk to you about AI. We will have you back on the show. I do think that that would be not only important for job seekers, but I'd like, and so would Foster, we'd like to also showcase you to many of the organizations that watch the show to look for great individuals. So the second half of the show, we have got a wonderful guest, Carrie Corcoran, or Corcoran. Is that correct, Carrie?
It is Corcoran, yes.
Okay, my apologies. I had it a little bit off there, but we are so excited you are here. It has been a great holiday season, but now that we're back, we have got two amazing guests today. So, Carrie, would love for you to have an opportunity to introduce yourself and share a little bit about the types of very clearly the types of opportunities you're looking for, how it relates to your background, and we can start
Okay,
there.
that's great. Yeah. And thank you so much, Foster and Dana, for having me on the show, and Mez for being in the background, making sure that everything is up and running
Mez.
and it's all smooth. And I'm a huge fan of AI, Rusty, so I appreciate the tools and the tips and the tricks that you shared. I use it almost every day in what I do, and I'm a huge fan of ChatGPT. So that's great. I am a senior level employer brand strategist. And so at the highest level, because a lot of people don't even know what employer branding is or what that profession entails. So at the highest level, what I do is I tell stories of companies and their employees and reasons why candidates should work for those companies. So it's like marketing for HR. And I've been doing this for over 10 years now.
Oh, wow. So when you're thinking about industries, titles, locations, kind of what does that look like for you?
That's a great question. So when it comes to titles, locations, industries, so really with industries, I'm agnostic because every single company needs to have an employer brand strategy. And a lot of times either companies don't have that function and they build that from scratch, or sometimes they do have, a lot of times it's team of one. So I've been a team of one many times where I have been the function at the company, or if it's a larger enterprise company, it may be more of like a team of 3 or 4 where it's a complement to that team. So I am, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I am comfortable either leading the charge and leading the team, and or I am comfortable complementing the team and being part of an already established team. So some of the titles that I would be looking for would be like director of employer brand or senior manager of employer brand, or even employer brand strategist. The titles in employer branding are all over the map, and no job description is the same. It's not the same across the board. It's not standardized at all.
Yeah. Wonderful. So when you've been thinking about your last 10 years and the different types of work you've done, the different projects, the different strategies, what would stand out to you as some of the work you're most proud of that you manage strategically? If you could share
Yeah,
a little bit
absolutely.
about that.
That's a great question. So I would say that 2 things stand out for me in that area. I mean, there are many, but I would say 2. One, when I was with Hilton, I was leading their global glass door strategy. And I was able, through a very strategic approach in working with corporate as well as the hotels that were owned and managed by Hilton, built a program for Glassdoor on improving their reviews and ratings across the board. And
yeah, a lot of companies
yes, and
need
you're
that.
familiar with that, Dana. I know that. So I put together this program, and within a very short period of time, Chris Nassetta, who is the CEO, I think he's still the CEO of Hilton, and he landed on the highest rated CEOs list for the first time ever. And they also landed on the Glassdoor best places to work list for the very first time.
Wow.
And that was the comprehensive strategy that I built in order to help them achieve those results. So I would say that is one of my proudest accomplishments. And then the other one, there's something called an employer value proposition, or an EVP, which basically is a framework for the company on how the company is going to talk about their employer brand and what that looks like internally and also from an external perspective. And so what I did, I was given the directive when I worked for a fintech company, I was given a directive to build their EVP in a 6-week time frame. Now, that is super short. I had never done it before, built an EVP from scratch, and to draft one of those in 6 weeks after I picked myself up from off the floor because I fell out of my chair when I was asked about that. Didn't literally fall out of my chair, but
no, but I would have. I mean, I get it. That's a huge accomplishment.
And the way that I went about that, I mean, I kicked and screamed the entire way behind the scenes, and I tapped one of my mentors, and he talked me off a ledge many times. And he said, you know what, you can just suck it up, do it, prove that you can do it, and check it off the list. So that is exactly what I did. And so I drafted the corporation's employer value proposition within a 6-week time frame, and that is something that I am very proud of.
Oh yeah,
that is amazing. Definitely a big stretch to support the companies like that. It's not an easy thing. It might sound easy in trying to deliver, that exciting achievement, but I had to do a very watered down version for our company because we were finding, that typically the only people that remember to go on and leave reviews are typically maybe people that struggled, that didn't work out with the company, and naturally, and a lot of them were individuals that were in entry level roles. So it's a tricky thing. And then we found out that a lot of we had a lot of companies reach out to us to let us know that certain things are now changing and they're going to potentially adjust things so people can't make disparaging comments. Have you heard anything like that?
Oh, that is interesting and fascinating. Glassdoor seems to change their policies about every 6 months. So it's very hard to keep up with what's current on that. I hadn't heard that about.
That was with Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, there were third parties that
right,
do what you do. And they're saying we can make sure because if you pay us, we can work with. Basically what they do is there's some sort of third party that prevents Indeed and these other companies from being able to show disparaging comments. I was just curious if you've heard anything like that, but like you said, it changes all the time, and probably from state to state.
Well,
too,
and
right?
I think that's why you need a solid strategy around improving reviews and ratings. You have to counteract the negativity and the people who, a lot of people are laid off, and then some people are fired, and so of course they're going to go on Glassdoor and they're going to complain. It's also a grain of truth in a lot of those reviews, and it's an opportunity if you have involved senior leadership to share those results with senior leaders to say, here's what people are saying.
Yeah.
Like, let's use this as education and let's make some improvements.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's such a it's such a critical role that you fill
Oh,
within your
yeah.
organization. I just love the fact you were able to speak to
Can you
that.
guys hear me
So,
okay?
Yes. Welcome
yay,
back.
Foster! We're
I
glad you're
apologize
back.
for my technology guys, but one thing I want to let companies know, obviously, Carrie is in job search right now. She's on the job of spotlight, the job seeker spotlight part of our show. We bring exemplary people on here for you guys, your companies to be able to meet
Oh yeah.
and see. I think this adds a lot of value rather than just seeing a resume.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm going to tell you one thing that I really, really like personally about Carrie is when you meet her, she has a very giving personality, but when you meet her, you're immediately attracted to her, to what she's got to say. There's a magnetism about Carrie that will carry over, guys, until you might want to utilize Carrie in your customer facing opportunities as you're building things, you're coming up with different ideas. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there, and immediately I had to invite Carrie to be on the show. This is our
Well,
first
definitely.
show. Hook 'em
She's
horns.
amazing.
Right.
Yeah. So excited tonight. Oh my gosh. But Carrie, it's just amazing to hear some of the things that you're doing, and companies do need this, especially
Yes.
in today's society. We have many different generations that have very different thought processes, approaches, and you know, earlier in my career, we didn't have things like this where you could speak out, via the internet. But obviously, we get into the 2000s and things start picking up, and now everything is so transparent online. So having a strategist is critical. Carrie, so what are your thoughts as far as do you have specific organizations you're targeting in terms of your search? Anything that are you open to relocate? Like, what can we do to support you? Because you're an incredible candidate. Any organization would be blessed
Thank
to
you,
have
Dana. I
you.
appreciate that. And thanks for the magnetism
Absolutely.
comment for us. I've actually heard that before, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I want your companies to know that is the person that you're hiring. That's Carrie. That's why we're bringing her to you.
I tend to be
Yeah.
the champion when I work for a company, and I am the one who is typically behind the scenes, and I am the one who's leading the charge and the cheerleader for the organization on employer brand and educating people internally as well as candidates externally. So to answer your question, Dana, right now, so I was laid off twice in 2023. I was laid off in January of 2023, and I was laid off in December of 2023. And I spent all of last year applying for full-time opportunities. And the job market is incredibly tough. Like, I am not going to sugarcoat it. It is hard out there. And so, I always want to give back, even though I'm in my job search, I want to give back to people out there. If you're having a challenge with that, please connect with me on LinkedIn, because that is one of the things that I enjoy doing. And so my perspective has changed a little bit within my career pause. And I truly feel like for some reason, God meant for me to have a pause for a year plus. I don't know why. Maybe I will in the future, but
yeah. God has a plan.
Got a plan.
Good things ahead.
I don't know what it is, but I'm here for it. And
there you go.
And so I am open to on the consulting side to being a consultant and being brought in as a consultant. I have my company, Carrie Cares Employer Brand Consulting, working on short-term projects or even on a contract basis or whatever that looks like. I'm open to part-time opportunities, whether that's like a 10-hour a week or 20-hour per week. If you want to come in and I can help supplement your employer brand team or help build some strategies. If you have team or a team of one where the person is more junior, I can come in and I can be that strategist to complement that team and the person.
Carrie, quick question. Hi, this is Mez here. I know I haven't talked yet, but where are you located? And are you open to travel or relocating?
Sure. I am located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I do prefer having a virtual, fully 100% remote full-time opportunity. I am open to considering relocation for the right opportunity. Yes, the sun, the stars, and the moon would have to align on that.
I think perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. Keep
Absolutely.
going, Carrie, what you were saying.
And so, I'm open to part-time, I'm open to consulting, I am open to full-time employee opportunities. Really it depends on, I want to make sure that my values align with the values of the company and that there's a really good fit there. And that's what I'm going to base things on. So, I could see a full-time opportunity and maybe my values don't align with that. If I was able to get an offer, I would probably turn it down. So priorities have shifted in my life. I also had a small brain aneurysm last year, and that really gave me
Welcome to the club.
I know,
Oh, no.
I know. Foster, you did too. So we'll have to talk about that sometime on another show. I would love to get into that.
Fighter, that's amazing. Well,
And
God
so,
bless you.
so there's just my perspective has shifted. So I just want to make sure that I'm right for the company and they're right for me. So, like I said, just open to full-time contract consulting. I'm open across the board for whatever that looks like and whatever God wants to put in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's great. Awesome. Well, I know we've got about 9 minutes left. Carrie, is there anything else that we haven't had a chance to ask you that you would like to share with our wonderful community that is attending this show to help us support you in your search?
So sweet. I would say connect with me on LinkedIn, and if there are any opportunities that you run across, please feel free to send those to me. I really am industry and company agnostic at this point because every company needs this function. 100%.
Yeah, I get it.
Carrie and I were having a conversation, and Carrie, guys, you might want to bring Carrie aboard for a short period of time. You might want to call and talk to her about an idea, those kind of things, and find her on LinkedIn. But you will be surprised at what you can put together just by a conversation with Carrie.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and employer branding, I mean, it's marketing on the HR side. And I have a strong 20-year event marketing and trade show marketing background. So I'm a connector at heart. I like to connect the dots for people and for companies. And build those relationships. And one of the ways that companies can help their employees put themselves out there and connect more dots and build their employer brand, which I'd love to talk about building employer brands at one point on the show too.
We need to have you back to talk about that because we need to focus on that. A lot of you companies can consider some new things that we have with the technology right now that Carrie knows how to be able to incorporate into your plan to help you do what it is you need to do to brand yourself.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And well, one of the things that I lead with heart and humor and compassion and empathy. And one of the great ways which, I've built my personal brand is by building a YouTube channel. So I do have a Carrie Cares Employer Brand YouTube channel, which you can find by either Googling it or going on my LinkedIn profile. There's a link underneath that. And one of the easiest things that I think companies can do is to put a video strategy, a recruitment video strategy in place. Get your hiring managers on video and let your employees be the star of the show.
I think we're going to see job seekers doing a whole lot more of that. And Carrie, you and I should talk about that as well.
Yeah. Interesting. And I would like to hear Carrie's perspective on that on another show as well, because I, from time to time, hear about the videos for people applying, and would just love to know more about that. We don't see a lot of that on our end, but every industry is different, right?
One of the other proudest accomplishments I had was when I was with a regional bank, and I built the strategy for their recruitment marketing video plan and built that from scratch, from the ground up. And it was incredibly successful. And candidates loved it. Recruiters loved it. Of course, you always have people who are a little bit hesitant to be on video, but there's ways around that. And it tested it with a pilot, backed it up by data, and then showed that to senior management, and then rolled that out across the bank with different divisions because it was so successful in the IT division that we tested it in. And so I'm passionate about building programs from the ground up, or looking at how you can do things differently. I mean, one of the easiest things companies can do is take a job description and turn it into a job ad, because you want to attract and engage the candidate. And I've done so many of those before, and those are fun. And that's where you use ChatGPT, right?
There it is.
I was just about to say that. I was like, I bet you can use ChatGPT. Because we do have some areas that are a lot harder to find, like surgical assistants and front office. Market's really scarce. And I was just thinking, you know what? That is
no, you still have to edit it for your voice, though. Of course.
Of course. Yeah. Oh, 100%. But you can at least get a good baseline, right? So, or foundation or straw man, whatever
exactly. And allow your employees to be their authentic selves. You're not going to have a successful employer brand strategy and get your employees engaged unless you allow them to be themselves and bring their authenticity to work.
Good point.
Tiffany and Mez and Dana and I are doing the same thing. We're trying to build our brand for the show. Now, a lot of times, guys, you companies will have a specific service or product, and you will notice there is a new emerging market for your for the need for what your products and services do. Now, what you want to do is brand yourself in that market. I mean, that's just kind of common sense for me. And if it's common sense for me, you guys can get it. Come on now. And so, Carrie, from what I'm hearing you say, you have been involved in that kind of thing. So am I telling the truth?
You are a little bit. So I actually, and I love podcasts and like building your personal brand through podcasts as well. And last year I built, I was a co-host on the Hiring Humans podcast with Craig Fisher, who I'm sure you're both familiar with. And
that's
then
my buddy. Yep.
Our good friend Megan
McCarthy
too. And so we did the Hiring Humans podcast and really talked about, connecting, like, what is the connection between body, mind, and spirit when you're in job transition? And that's something that I'm very passionate about, because it's not the end of the world when you get laid off or even when you get fired.
Not even close. Yeah.
There are ways to overcome that. And it is challenging. I mean, I've been laid off probably 12 times in my career. And
me too, Carrie.
You learn resilience, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And each time
you grow from
that
challenge.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Each time something new happens and we get a chance to expand our knowledge, and a lot of times in my case, got to make quite a bit more money. And so that's not why we're here. We're here to do a certain thing to help our community. That is what is paramount of importance. But guys, that's how we expand our horizons, and then we look good and everybody thinks, oh, Carrie's a smart lady. She decided she was going to go over into this arena and pick that up. And we kind of get credit for something that we didn't actually do, but God did it for us.
God is so good. Yeah.
Andrew Bisco. Hey, brother, I see that you're with us, and I'm glad you made it. Awesome. Andrew, we got to get you back on the show. Carrie, are you, you're presently in Tulsa, right?
Correct.
And I told you about overcoming job transition there in Tulsa.
Yes.
That is a group, guys. And what we do, Dana and I have groups all over the United States where people, Texas is not the only place where corporations lay people off. So we have a powerful group up in Tulsa, Oklahoma called OJT, Overcoming Job Transition. You guys can go to Google if you're in Tulsa. Go to Google and put in don't put in OGT, put in Overcoming Job Transition. You'll be surprised what you see.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Dana, I hear music. You know what that means? Next Friday.
See y'all next week.
Come on.
No horn. Come.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Joco Community Radio.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and